Hello. In part one of this series, I suggested agricultural advances preceding and accompanying the Industrial Revolution ensured food production increased efficiently, helping to create the necessary economic conditions for the transition to an industrial economy, allowing the Industrial Revolution to succeed. I'm going to dig a little deeper into the transformation that took place in agriculture, beginning with improvements to tools and equipment. A series of incremental upgrades to ploughs began with changes to the design of the mouldboard in the mid-17th century, and the replacement of wooden components with those made of iron. Specialist manufacturers emerged. The light and efficient Rotherham Swing Plough, designed by Joseph Foljambe in 1730, became widely popular and was soon being mass-produced. In 1803, Ipswich iron founder Robert Ransom patented a process of chilled casting to produce what he described as self-sharpening ploughshares. Seed drills, Jethro Tull's pioneering model of 1701 was not particularly useful, but more practical models followed, sowed seeds efficiently in straight rows, enabling crops to be weeded by horse-drawn hoes, replacing labour-intensive weeding by hand. By the end of the 18th century, threshing of grain had been mechanised. Reaping and harvesting machines soon followed. Use of fodder crops such as clover and significantly turnips or mangolds in heavy soil removed the need to leave arable land fallow on a rotational system. Fodder crops provided winter feed for livestock. Turnip tops could be grazed, during which fields were manured, and roots harvested. Understanding of the importance of fertilisers and soil improvers such as marl to sweeten acidic land increased crop yields and allowed marginal land to be brought into productive use. In the 19th century, guano, the Spanish word for manure, deposited over centuries by seabirds on rocky islands off the coast of Peru and rich in nitrogen, ammonia and phosphorus, was imported in vast quantities. Wet land was reclaimed through drainage, dry land subjected to irrigation. In the mid-18th century, agriculturalist Robert Bakewell introduced selective breeding methods that improved the quality of domestic livestock. Thomas Gainsborough's 1749 portrait, now in the National Gallery, of a recently married couple, Robert and Frances Andrews, in a rural landscape, captures some of the recent agricultural advances. Wheat has been sown by seed drill in straight lines. In the background, sheep are enclosed in a field by a newly planted quickthorn hedge, allowing control of lambing and pests. George Stubbs' beautifully composed painting of 1785, The Reapers, now in the Tate Britain collection, shows the tall wheat typical of the period when straw was more valuable. It's a strikingly tidy and posed image of harvesting. Has Stubbs simply idealised the scene with an eye to sales? Or is this the landlord and his family dressed up, proud to associate themselves with overseeing a successful harvest? Landlords played a role in agricultural progress. The Enclosure Acts were a double-edged sword. Long enjoyed rights were removed, but bringing common land into private ownership encouraged investment. The social standing of agriculture was raised. The king himself, George III, set an example, earning the nickname Farmer George for his interest. During the Napoleonic Wars, when self-sufficiency was a necessity, food production became seen as a patriotic duty. This painting of 1809 by J.M.W. Turner, now in the National Gallery, depicts something of the harsh reality of lifting turnips on a cold grey day. Is it an indictment of the class divide, or, with Windsor Castle in the background, a celebration of patriotic duty, a salute to progress led by Farmer George III? Both interpretations are possible, and whatever the truth, it shows the scene was worthy of attention. For the tenant farmer, dependent on his yearly harvest for his livelihood, Experimenting with innovative practices was a gamble. An element of partnership between a landlord, who might provide the fixed capital necessary, and tenant allowed risks to be taken. Home farms, established to provide food for the big house, developed as model farms, where the latest high-intensity, factory-style farming practices could be trialled and the benefits demonstrated. This is Wimpole Home Farm in Cambridgeshire, now in the care of the National Trust. Originally designed as a model farm by neoclassical architect Sir John Soane for Philip York, Earl of Hardwicke of Wimpole Hall. The investment and innovation in agriculture that took place in Britain from the late 17th century ensured that the demand for food by a growing population was met by a sustained rise in output, helping to create the economic conditions necessary for the Industrial Revolution. Next time, the work of Abraham Darby at Coalbrookdale and the invention of the steam engine, the wonder of the age. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.